When doing a scale calculation, the place to start is once you find your ratio rule. And any type of scale drawing will tell you a ratio rule, such as every 1 centimeter on the map is equal to 30 kilometers in real life. That's an example of a ratio rule. Oops. So, you can write the ratio rule on top of each other. Put the small number on top and the big number on the bottom. You could do it the other way around and put big number on top and small number on the bottom. You would just have to stay consistent with the rest of your calculations. So, in this question, we're going to do A. The scale ratio for this portrait is 1 to 90. So since they're not giving us centimeters and kilometers or any type of units, you assume that these are the same units. So 1 to 90, we're going to write it on top of each other as a fraction. Obviously, I did small over big. So, what are the actual dimensions of the portrait in real life? So let's start with the height of this portrait. So let's pretend this is 4 centimeters on paper, because they're asking us what it is in real life. So obviously it's not just 4 centimeters in real life. So that means the 4 centimeters is the small number, and in real life is what we want to find. So that's the x. So what we have here, since the scale or the ratio rule holds, we have a proportion, and we can cross multiply to solve this proportion. As we know from the last chapter, to cross multiply, you do bracket times bracket equals bracket times bracket. So it'll be the 1 times the x equals the 4 times the 90. So we get 1x equals 360. Then you're going to divide both sides by 1 to get the x by itself. And then x equals 360. Now for units, since they didn't give us different units, we assume they are the same units. So since the original length on the drawing on the paper was 4 centimeters, that means this actual height of the frame is also in centimeters. So they want the dimensions. Dimensions, oops, are length and width. So we have our length. So now we have to do a calculation for the width. So again, this is what we started with. Small over big, or the ratio rule that they're giving us, is 1 over 90. So the small on paper width is 3 centimeters. So what is going to be our actual width in real life? Well, that will be x centimeters. So we're going to use this part as the proportion to cross multiply, and we can see that our x number will actually be in centimeters. So bracket times bracket equals bracket times bracket. 1 times x equals 3 times 90. So 1x equals 270. Then you're going to divide both sides by the number in front of the x in order to get the x by itself. And we end up with x equals 270 centimeters. So therefore the dimensions are length was 360 centimeters and width is 270 centimeters. Let's do another example starting from scratch. So the question is, how tall is this cat in real life? So on paper, this cat is 3.5 centimeters tall. We're going to need our scale factor ratio rule to start off our calculations. So 2 over 17, obviously the smaller numbers on top, the larger numbers on the bottom, equals, so the smaller one's the one on paper, so it's equal to 3.5 centimeters. Again, they're not giving us any units, so it must be the same units. So if this is centimeters, then this will also be centimeters. So cross multiplying to solve for this proportion, and we don't need the units in our calculation. So bracket times bracket equals bracket times bracket. 2 times x equals 3.5 times 17. So 2x equals 59.5. And now we want to get x by itself, so we have to divide by that 2. So we end up with x equals 29.75, and our units were centimeters. So how tall is this cat in real life? Therefore, 29.75 centimeters tall. Once again, not enough room for a full complete sentence.